Hi, good morning, everyone. We are thrilled to have everyone joining us today. We are very excited to be learning from the Special Olympics of South Carolina. Got an awesome webinar planned for y'all today. So as everyone is getting on, if you will please share your name, organization, and location in the chat with us so we know where everyone's coming to us from this morning. And we are going to kick off our morning with a mindfulness moment. Today's mindfulness moment, as you are sharing your name, organization, and location in the chat, if you will please join us in some simple stretches, exercises. We're sharing some chair exercises on the screen. Do what you are comfortable with. There's no video, no audio, so this is a judgment-free zone. But take a minute, do maybe 5 or 10 of the exercises that you feel comfortable with, just to get the blood and oxygen moving. Um, Good morning. I see lots of locations and awesome people joining us today. Morning, Kathy and Danielle. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so as you are joining us, we are doing a few chair exercises. I'm going to be stretching myself. I like the piece about focusing on the extremities, your wrists, ankles. Hopefully y'all can't hear my joints cracking through the audio because that's embarrassing. Um, all right. So a few housekeeping reminders. This webinar will be recorded and shared with you within the next week. All recorded webinars are available on the Wholespire website. And throughout today's training, we welcome you to use the chat and the emoji reactions. If you have any questions, you are welcome to share those in, you're welcome to share your questions in our Q&A Zoom feature or in the chat. We will have a specific Q&A piece at the end of the training. Okay, so let's get this party started. My name is JC, and I have the honor of representing the South Carolina Schools Network with Wholespire. Our mission is to identify and promote healthy eating and active living strategies in South Carolina public schools that empower key stakeholders and encourage collaboration among those seeking to improve student health and academic achievement.
Thank you, JC, for getting us started this morning. My name is Erica Ayers. I'm the school wellness consultant with the South Carolina Department of Public Health, and I also serve as the executive director for the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness. And the mission of the Governor's Council on Physical Fitness is to advance the health of all South Carolinians through the support and promotion of physical activity. And we have been doing this in collaboration with the Schools Network since the spring of 2022 through this webinar series. So if you're new to our webinars, the purpose is to enhance the collaboration between schools and communities using the whole school, whole community, whole child model as a framework to support students' health and their academic success. For today's webinar series, we're going to be focusing on the component of health education. And before JC introduces our presenter for today, we're going to get a better idea of who y'all are. So we're going to open up our poll. So if you will take a second and respond to that. And then JC will share our results in a moment.
All right, thanks everyone. Love to see all of the school staff and teachers joining us today. This is going to be really awesome. Kara's going to introduce a lot of really cool stuff that y'all can use in your classrooms, as well as for our community partners. So today we are excited to learn from the Special Olympics South Carolina about the valuable resources they offer to students, families, and community groups. We will be learning about the importance of inclusive health and discovering practical small changes that can be made to ensure every individual has the opportunity to live a full, happy, and healthy life. This session will highlight Special Olympics South Carolina sports, health, and education initiatives and provide actionable insights for fostering inclusive environments that empower all individuals to thrive. First up, we will hear from Kara Harmon. Kara is the Director of Communications for Special Olympics South Carolina. She joined the organization in 2008 as the Director of Program Services after graduating from the University of South Carolina, where she assisted with the growth of the Unified Champion Schools and local area programs, as well as taking the lead with health programs. In 2022, Kara transitioned to her current role and is excited to continue sharing the impact of these programs on individuals and their families in a new way. Welcome, Kara.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here and just talk more about Special Olympics South Carolina, but also really focus in on inclusive health. Everybody, hears Special Olympics and they think of, oh, the cool sports events and things that we do. But what a lot of people don't realize is Special Olympics is also the world's #1 public health organization for individuals with intellectual disabilities. So that's what I'm going to be chatting about today. Feel free to throw questions in the chat. Stop me if, the sound doesn't work, but everything worked yesterday. So fingers crossed technology is on our side. So let's get going. So first and foremost, for those of you that aren't as familiar with Special Olympics, our mission is to provide year-round sports, training, and athletic competition in Olympic-type sports for children and adults. So we have athletes as young as 2 years old, all the way up to 82 years old. There's no cutoff to participate in our program, which I think a lot of people don't realize. They think it's kind of school involvement, but this is something that can continue for an athlete's lifespan. But there's a real key part in our mission statement that I think oftentimes gets overlooked. But we want to encourage physical fitness. We want to work with our athletes and develop physical fitness so that they can live longer, happier, healthier lives. So why inclusive health? Because again, a lot of you are from schools. I saw, where you guys are from. So you obviously know of our education program, Unified Champion Schools, and our sports. But this little video we'll talk a little bit more about bridging the gap and why we are so focused on inclusive health.
That was a great time being part of a basketball team at the Special Olympics World Games.
My players have intellectual disabilities, or ID, but they could take on any athletes.
Still, a main challenge for these athletes with ID takes place in the health and wellness arena. The reality is a disparity, a real gap between the health of those without intellectual disabilities and those with ID. The gap includes access to quality healthcare for chronic conditions like heart disease or preventing diseases with vaccines.
Sometimes patients like me aren't good at expressing our symptoms. And sometimes doctors aren't trained to understand those of us with ID. For me and my teammates, doctors' visits are often too short. And our lives are often too short because of delays in prevention and treatment. My teammates and I will likely die 16 years younger than the general population. 16!
The solution is inclusion. Get in there. Special Olympics has provided 1.9 million health screenings and trained over 220,000 health professionals. We're making sure that those with ID have year-round access to health care, prevention, and wellness programs. These victories of inclusion for people with ID are a triumph for human rights.
So people with ID need your help. Choose to include me at your doctor's office. Include me on your sports team and include me in your community so I will reach my full potential and inspire others. Okay, hands in.
The revolution is inclusion.
Got it.
I am an ambassador for the Special Olympics, but I've also become somebody pretty obsessed with sticking up for people who can't stick up for themselves.
So that's just a really great resource or a really great video that showcases why this is so important. One of those main statistics that stuck out to me, and I did not come from a health background, so learning all of this has really been eye-opening for me, is the fact that our athletes die 16 years earlier than that of their peers, and it's not due to their disability, but rather the lack in quality healthcare that they receive. So when you're looking at a team of 10 Special Olympics athletes, you see a lot of different health issues on that team. Untreated tooth decay, they need eyeglasses. Two out of the 10 have some sort of eye disease. There's significant problems with flexibility and balance, which places them at risk for injury. 3 fail a hearing test, low bone density, overweight and obese. So there's a lot of health conditions and a lot of health issues that Special Olympics can help address through the different resources that we offer. So obviously the health umbrella is very large, and how do you narrow that down to where it makes sense for what we do as an organization? So we've kind of broken it down into 4 pillars, and I'll talk about each one of the pillars and what we do within that pillar. Play to prevent, a lot of early education resources and fitness are in there. Assess to address, train to treat, and rise up to reform. So we're going to talk first about play to prevent. So this really focuses on ongoing prevention and fitness and meeting our athletes where they are. And it also includes early intervention. So our Young Athletes program falls under this pillar. So young athletes specifically is our 2 to 7 year range. Our athletes cannot compete officially until they're 8 years old. So there's a gap of athletes there that we really wanted to create something for. So the Young Athlete program teaches our athletes basic foundational sports skills. So running, jumping, catching, throwing. But in addition to that, they're developing really key social skills, learning to follow instructions, waiting their turn. So Young Athletes has been really, really successful. In fact, there's some fantastic data that goes along with that program, but it indicates that children with ID that participate in Young Athletes experience a 7-month gain in motor skill development after just 2 months of involvement. That's a huge growth in development in a short amount of time. The improvement occurred at more than twice the rate of their peers who did not participate. Parents and teachers have also reported that the program enhanced social and emotional growth. So the improvements have been linked to increased self-esteem and attention span. But more importantly, I think looking at the long-term effect of young athletes, follow-up studies done at like 5 months and 10 months have showed that children who engage in that young athletes program have maintained a 4-month advantage in development in 2 of 3 key areas, motor and social skills. So if you're a school or a school district out there, or even a community organization that focuses on this age group, please get in touch with us if you aren't already doing young athletes, because it is so beneficial to give this positive, this kind of just positive program to the parents and families so soon, knowing that this is something that can carry our athletes for their lifespan. In addition to young athletes, we in South Carolina are starting junior athletes. So looking at that older age group of young athletes, so 7 to 12, and kind of transitioning from sports skill to team skills, and looking at how to work with a team, how to try different sports that are a little bit more sports specific than the young athletes. So right now we have had soccer and flag football. We're currently doing volleyball, and in the spring we'll do pickleball. So again, it gives some of those older young athletes a chance to try different sports, but really kind of take the growth that they've seen in young athletes and apply it kind of in the next step. So we're really excited about that. We also offer health education to our families. So bringing in outside experts to talk to them and just know what to look for, diabetes awareness, nutrition, things like that, that we can connect with partners on, that we think is really beneficial for the families to support their athlete and their health goals. And then finally, this pillar also addresses fitness programs. So we can't have healthy athletes without having fitness incorporated in some form or fashion into our sport practices. So I'm going to click on this link. I think I'm going to have to reshare my screen. So let's see. So if you were to go to our website, hopefully you can see that. Under the top tab is our health, and you can scroll down to fitness, and this is kind of what you would find. You find different resources, and this is the best part. They're all free to use, so you can access them at any point. But there's a great program called School of Strength. This came out during COVID from our national office, but it was done in partnership with WWE, and a lot of our athletes love the wrestling world, so they get really excited. But they're instructional videos that build off of each other, so you can definitely incorporate those. We've got Fit 5, which focuses on the simplistic idea of exercising 5 days a week, drinking 5 bottles of water every day, eating 5 fruits and vegetables on their plate throughout the day. So really focusing on the number 5. What I love is that they've taken the simplistic idea of Fit 5 and created High 5 for Fitness. And this is really a great opportunity for schools to incorporate health and fitness during the school day. So as you can see, they're broken down into age groups, and you can view the cards, you can print them off, but if you click this view more or instructional videos, it takes you to where you can find an educator's guide as well as a caregiver's guide, because clearly we need the support of families for it to really take off in an athlete's life. But I love this because you have all the videos. Again, it's level based, so you can start with the easiest level and progress. But all these videos are available, and they're done by Special Olympics athletes, which is really cool when you have our guys seeing themselves and saying, okay, well, they can do it, so can I. So it's definitely an awesome opportunity to check out and know that it's there. And then if you look at other fitness resources, we have more available. Again, it's all free, but there's a sports specific physical activity plan. So say you have a basketball team. This really focuses on great exercises and strength exercises that you can do to better impact your basketball players. It's specific for that sport. So we have a lot of our sports listed in that plan. One of our most popular ones lately is this Walk This Way activity plan. So this you can print however much of it you want, but it's an 8-week program really focused on walking, walking as a group, walking as a unified group, because conversations come out of those walks. Hey, you drink, I noticed you drink a lot of soda. Like, what's a good small goal? Maybe we can cut that back to only 1 soda a day and not 10 sodas a day. But all those conversations really come out in that walk, but you're getting up and getting our athletes moving. This program was inspired by our athlete, Travis, who works with us here in the office. And this is actually an old picture. At this point, he had just started walking, really taking control of his health, and he was down 60 pounds. Yesterday, he informed me that he is officially down 101 pounds. So we are very excited about the progress that he's made. He's off all of his medications, and just really inspiring other community members to just get out there and walk. So we've taken his idea, structured it a little bit more for community groups or for school-based groups. So we have interactive trackers. We have an activity every day of the week, but it doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that activity. You could do something different. How many minutes a day were you active? How many fruits and vegetables did you eat? How many bottles of water? They can literally print it off, keep it on their desk, and scratch off or circle as they go, which is really, really cool. And then, like I said, we by no means are nutritionists, but we tried to find different, healthier, easy to make recipes and sprinkled them through here. We tied Fit 5 and that program into this as well, so it's all connected. But it's just a really, really great opportunity to get our athletes up, get them moving, which is really important at the end of the day. So that is all available, like I said, on our website under the health tab and fitness. And of course, by all means, you can reach out to us. Travis definitely wants you to know that he is more than willing to come out and talk to your group as well and get them kick-started. So he's kind of our celebrity in the office, which is cool. But other fitness programs that have been really successful in our program, Adaptive CrossFit. We've got a gym in Myrtle Beach that does it for free for our athletes and their families, which is really cool. We have athlete-led Zumba. We have a couple of athletes that are trained Zumba instructors, so they get on and do that virtually. So we can absolutely send you their information as well. So the second pillar is assess to address, so early detection and care. And this is really what kickstarted health for Special Olympics, was developing this Healthy Athletes program. Eunice Kennedy Shriver was having a difficult time getting her sister Rosemary seen with a doctor. And if, being a Kennedy, she said, if I'm having this much difficulty, other people are as well. So they started Healthy Athletes, training the healthcare professionals of how to work with this population, which was mind blowing to me because I realized that our healthcare professionals don't get hands-on training with our population. So they're either uncomfortable, they just don't know how to work with them, how best to communicate. If you talk to our athletes, a lot of times they're like, well, when I go to be seen for an issue, they talk to my parent, but I'm 26 years old and I'm the one there with the concern. So Healthy Athletes has just been a great opportunity to train those healthcare professionals, but also give them hands-on experience working with this population. Over 90% of the people, healthcare professionals that volunteer with Healthy Athletes say they are way more comfortable working with this population after that experience than they would have been prior to. So there are 8 different disciplines. We host Healthy Athletes with our 2 largest state games every year. So at our fall games in Myrtle Beach and our summer games here in Fort Jackson. But the different disciplines, we have opening eyes, which is optometry. So our athletes get free screenings. They go through, if they need any eye care, they receive those for free, which I just went to the eye doctor yesterday. It is not cheap to buy new glasses. So it's really just a life-changing experience for our guys to get those glasses. We had an athlete go through at one of our USA games and got glasses for the very first time. And he looked at his dad and he said, I can actually see you. His dad had no idea that he couldn't see. Like I said, it's a life-changing thing for our athletes. Special Smiles is dentistry. So they'll go through, look at their teeth. If there's any concerns, they'll walk away with a referral to be seen locally and get those issues taken care of. Health promotion is our nutrition education. So really working with our athletes and so they understand how their plate needs to look. It needs to be very colorful with lots of fruits and veggies, proportions. They also talk about, their height and their weight and their BMI, and scan for bone density issues. Fit Feet is podiatry. So looking at the shoes and the socks and everything that goes on with an athlete's feet. A lot of times our athletes are wearing wrong size shoes. I know when I have the wrong size shoes, it's extremely uncomfortable. So it's nice that our doctors can go and say, okay, you're wearing the wrong size. This is what I recommend. And here are some brands that I recommend. Healthy Hearing is audiology, so they get free hearing exams. Fun Fitness looks at their strength and balance, a lot of physical therapy in that one. And then Strong Minds is one of the newest one. It's adaptive coping skills, looking at the mental health, teaching our athletes what their stressors are and how, maybe some tips and tricks on how to balance that out. And then finally, MedFest is the final discipline. We don't have MedFest here in South Carolina, but it's just general practice and filling out their sports physical. The third pillar is train to treat. So this is really looking at training the health workforce and looking at it outside of Healthy Athletes, because we do a great job of training them, getting them ready, getting them excited to volunteer with us for those events. But looking beyond that and really working with organizations and partners to do inclusive health training within, add it to the curriculum of a medical school. Working with Parks and Rec to train them and allow us to come in and do fitness programs. So it's really just focusing on building those partners and seeing how best we can work together to benefit both sides. And then finally, the fourth pillar is rise up to reform. So, working with our athletes, working with their families, and improving their overall health outcomes. We do this kind of two different ways. We train our athletes to be health messengers. So they have to go through a course to learn all about our health programs, but then and complete a practicum. So they have to complete a practicum to be an officially trained health messenger, but then they're able to go and spread the message of health, which is way more powerful than me standing in front of a partner. But hearing it from our athletes and how our health programs have impacted them is a huge, huge thing for us. Inclusive Health Provider Network. This is available on our website as well. But when we train healthcare professionals, we add them to that Inclusive Health Provider Network. So the idea is that our families, they might move to our state, or they might have gotten a referral at state games and did not know where to go or where to find a dentist or a physical therapist or a podiatrist. They can go on our website, find that database, and search their area. And we put all of those that have gone through our training on that list. So we're constantly updating it. We're constantly wanting more partners in that area, so that when our athletes go to a doctor's office, they can see that little Inclusive Health Provider Network logo on their door and feel comfortable asking questions and kind of walking through that process of just, getting seen and getting their concerns addressed. So again, it always just makes more sense once you see it, right? So I'm going to share with you one of our health messengers, kind of her story, and then I will also share a video about our health fair. We did that at MUSC in partnership with MUSC, literally the last event before COVID shut us down. But it was an opportunity to work with local school districts and MUSC and bring in athletes for those free screenings that don't typically go to our state games. So reaching a wider audience and, quite honestly, reaching those athletes that truly need that healthcare. So it was a great day. But first, we're going to start with our athlete health messenger, Rachel Lewis.
My name is Rachel Lewis. I'm a Southern Belle. I'm from South Carolina. This is healthy living in Rachel style. When I trained for U.S. Games in Princeton, I lost 20 pounds. I eat healthy. There are 3 types of food: go, slow, and raw. I try to stay away from raw food. I choose to live a healthy lifestyle. I enjoy swimming, dancing, working out, and I love doing Zumba. And I love my life. I encourage my friends to get off the couch. Be active. Together we ball, swim, and basketball. But our favorite activity is dancing. I'm always the last one on the dance floor. I was a correctional intern. I like to tell my congressmen that Special Olympics athletes are good advancements, and we should have access to quality health care. Remember, we vote.
As Rachel's mentor, I will go alongside her and share with congressmen and others that it's really important for Special Olympics athletes to have quality health care. In 2016, Rachel had life-saving brain surgery, and it was worthwhile because she has a lot to contribute.
So as you can see, Rachel is our redhead sassafras. She is so great about going up and speaking to congressmen about the importance of inclusive health. She just got back from Washington, D.C. for our Capitol Hill Day a couple of weeks ago and spoke to many members of our Senate and Congress just about the importance of Special Olympics and what it's doing in not only her life, but the lives of her peers. So she's a great spokesperson for us. So again, this second video is just a closer look at what our Healthy Athletes program does and could do.
This is so exciting. We are so proud to be part of this with Special Olympics and to be able to provide the health screening that our athletes need.
We're really excited about the partnership between Special Olympics and MUSC. And for us, just since we're training in developmental pediatrics, then this is a population of kids who we really want to help as much as possible. And we're excited about the opportunities that they'll have here to learn more about their health.
So today is about inclusion. Today is about getting them the health care that they need. And what we're doing, it's a screening, we're not doing treatment per se. Because the first thing we do is have to get them in the system.
I think for a lot of our athletes and a lot of our students, it's hard to get to doctor's appointments. And not only are they able to get like an overall health screening here, but they're able to get almost 5 doctor's visits in, right? Because you're seeing a podiatrist, you're seeing a dentist, you're talking to someone about your blood pressure, a nutritionist.
I think we've made it a lot easier in that we're busing students from schools. Everything is here. They're going to get to be evaluated by multiple disciplines. So it's really access to the healthcare. And I think this is a really important event because this is the first time that it's been a separate standalone health fair that's not directly associated with the Olympic Games.
It's really exciting. I'm actually happy to be here because I actually got to meet a whole bunch of new people and actually have a good time here. It's been great because we've had students who aren't able to have access to this medical care get some great screenings done so that we can eliminate a few more barriers in our educational journey.
I think this was an amazing opportunity for all of us, for the volunteers to participate and just interact with, people in the community that have special needs, to the students to have this opportunity. Not all of them have the opportunity to get to the clinics or their doctors, and so this is a great way for them to, have their health checked and get feedback to their parents so that they know next steps that they can take.
Working with Special Olympics South Carolina is so easy. The people I've met have been wonderful. They're supportive. They provide the supplies. The organization is top notch. It's such an easy partnership. I would recommend it to all the healthcare providers across the state to get involved if they can.
So we were really proud of that event, proud that we were able to give health screenings to so many new athletes. That was in partnership with Berkeley and Charleston County School Districts. So we had about 100 athletes that day be screened in 5 different disciplines. So it's definitely something that we want to look to do again in the future, especially in different parts of the state, because that way we can just reach more athletes and hopefully catch some things that can be easily fixed, like our teacher said, to help them in their, kind of remove one more barrier in their education journey. So, if you're interested, definitely reach out to us, because it is definitely something that we want to prioritize moving
This
forward.
is so exciting.
So how can you get involved? There's so many ways you can get involved, and so many ways to help. And the first is really just to stay connected with us through social media. We're largely on Facebook and Instagram, but there's events happening all the time, not just with health, but with sports, and to volunteer, to get your athletes signed up for. That's really the best area to kind of see what's happening and what you can do to get involved that way. Obviously, our website is always up to date as well, so feel free to check that out. The second one is to participate and volunteer. I highlighted just a couple of resources that are on our website that are free to use, but reach out to us. We're here. We've got the expertise and the resources that we can really kind of work with you and develop something that could be amazing for your athletes. And we're always looking to grow. I think that's one of our best attributes is, we're always looking to improve and grow and connect with more organizations to further this message. And then finally, really look at our inclusive provider network. Any of the doctors that you see on a regular basis, have a conversation with them. Hey, did you know Special Olympics has this opportunity? If you have friends, family members that are in the healthcare world, just direct them to that provider network, because the more we can get on the list, the more opportunities our athletes have to access care in their specific areas. And then I think we're kind of at the end, but this is my information. This is my direct line and my email. Feel free to reach out. And then I think if there's any questions, I'd love to give a few minutes for those.
Thank you, Kara. These are such wonderful tools and resources that can make a huge impact in our schools and communities. So thank you for all of the work that you and the whole team have been doing. We are now excited to hear from Kelsey Miller, the Director of Youth Initiatives for Special Olympics South Carolina. She'll be sharing about a couple of awesome upcoming events. And as y'all think of any questions that you may have, please feel free to put those in the chat and the Q&A feature.
Yeah, thank you. So I get the pleasure of obviously working with Kara. I mean, what a great job. But my primary role is working with schools and educators across the state implementing Unified Champion schools and inclusive programming in those schools. And one of those things is putting on this educator conference that you can see on your screen. It is a free educator conference, which does not come around very often. We provide you with some knowledge, the opportunity to gain knowledge just from other educators in the room, yes, from us, but hearing from other educators that are doing the work across the state, obviously giving you plenty of resources. You saw just some of the resources that Kara shared. We have so many resources on our website that we love sharing our information and getting it out there. The more of you that can use that in your schools is obviously better for your students and even for us to be able to be involved with you. We are true partners. We come alongside of you. We meet with you individually as schools, as educators, and how we can meet the needs of your students, because every school is so different across our state. So if you'd like to come to our wonderful educator conference, again, it is free. It's here in Columbia, June 20th. And I promise it'll be a good time. And the theme for our year this year is Ride the Wave and Let Me Be Brave, which is part of our athlete oath. which also ties into, Erica, if you can go to the next slide, Skaford Conference. So we get to partner with Skaford. We love sports. We are always going to be a sports organization. We get to tap into other resources through sport and because of sport. So the partnership with Skaford is pretty much a no-brainer. Making sure that our health educators, our dance educators, and our physical educators get some support from us. And so the theme this year is Catch the Wave and adapting, engaging for all learners. So these are just two opportunities to kind of connect with us, but also connect with other educators across the state. Adapting your thinking. Again, it's not just for our students with intellectual disabilities, but we've got physical disabilities in the classroom. And again, health, physical, and dance educators, recreational things that you're seeing every student. Any student who walks into your doors at a school, or even in a community aspect, they are coming to you and you are teaching them, you are helping them. So this is a great way, both the educator conference that we host and Skaford Conference, to get involved, learn from people doing the work, gain all the knowledge that you possibly can, and take it back to your workplace and put it into practice. So again, educator conference for us is in June. Skaford is in November.
Thank you, Kara and Kelsey. And we'll be sure that this information is shared in the chat along with the follow-up email that will go out next week after today's webinar. So you'll be able to easily access information about that education workshop and the Skaford Conference. And we hope you're interested. In addition, the Skaford Conference has just opened up for conference proposals. So we'll make sure you receive that information as well in case you have some information you want to share at the conference this year. So speaking of professional development, our next webinar is on March 19th. It's with Laura Buzz, and she is such a great teller of stories. We were able to do a check-in with her last week, and she is full of so much information on how communities and schools can work together to do this, to get fresh fruits and vegetables to our students. So she comes from the world of South Carolina Food Share. She's the Community Engagement Program Manager with the Southeastern Housing and Community Development. And like I mentioned, she is just a wealth of knowledge on how to get those communities and schools, how to break down those silos, and how to get everyone working together for the health and the benefit of the students. So you can register now for that webinar if you're interested. This flyer will be going out soon. You'll also get it in your follow-up email after today's webinar. So we hope that you do plan to come check it out, and we hope to see you next month and share it with your colleagues as well. And then this is the lineup for the rest of our spring webinar series. You see in April on the 16th, we have school and clinical linkages through the Docs Adopt initiative. And then we'll be wrapping up on May 21st on how schools and communities can provide access to physical activity opportunities. So in addition to our follow-up email that you'll be receiving, we will also be sending out a request for proposals and feedback to help us plan the 25-26 school year webinar series, which we'll be doing this summer. So please take some time to fill out that feedback survey. Again, this is separate from your post-webinar survey. This is an overall survey to get feedback and to even include ideas for potential topics or presenters, including yourself maybe, that we can highlight for our 25-26 school year webinar series. So with that, thank you again for taking some time out of your day to be a part of this with us. A big thank you to JC for being my co-host and to kicking us off this morning. And another big thank you to Kara and Kelsey and all that you do at Special Olympics South Carolina. And we hope a lot of y'all found some very helpful, informative resources that you'll be able to take back with you and to share. And we hope you get involved with Special Olympics South Carolina if it's a good fit for your school and your community and the work that you do. And with that, enjoy the rest of your day, and we look forward to seeing y'all again next month. Thank you.